Hi there, my name is Eric Simpson and welcome to the Personal Wellness Studio, where we use the Coach Me Slim and Trim program to work with busy professional mums aged 35 to 55 who are looking to drop 2 to 3 dress sizes in the next 3 to 6 months and improve their overall health and well-being. And in this week's Coach Me Slim and Trim tip, I'm going to be speaking to you about the weight loss journey, knowing where you're going and how you're going to get there before you actually set off. And if you think about that for a second, you wouldn't jump into your car and set off on a journey without first of all either referring to a map to work out the route you're going to be taking, or getting your sat-nav and putting in the postcode to work out where you're going. But for some reason, most people try and achieve a weight loss goal without first of all knowing where they're going. So I'm going to be sharing with you 7 stages that you will need to go through in order to get to your destination successfully. And I say destination, actually it's more about a lifestyle. That's what we're talking about, getting to a point in your life where you can hold a weight range that you are comfortable with and that you are not continually having to sort of refer back to the scales or worrying about can you fit something on that's in your wardrobe. That's what we're talking about really. So I'm going to share with you now the 7 stages you're going to need to go through in order to get to that place. And the first stage is what I call the mindset shift, and that's where you make an active decision emotionally to get involved in the process of losing weight. You're no longer just a bystander looking on, you're no longer someone just gathering information and listening to things that other people are saying. You're now going to become emotionally and actively involved in the process of losing weight and changing your lifestyle. And I think you need to bear in mind when you make that shift is that when you make the shift, the people around you, family, friends, work colleagues who are maybe in a similar position to you, if they haven't made that shift, that emotional shift to get involved in the process, then they are not going to fully understand what you are doing on an emotional level. Intellectually they will. They'll understand you're eating more healthily, taking some exercise, but emotionally, because they haven't made that commitment themselves, they won't have the same mindset that you have to be able to do the things that you are now doing. So you need to understand that. And the other thing to understand about the mental mindset shift, this first stage, is that it can take you several months, several years before you finally make that shift to say, this is it, I'm really going to make this change. So, don't be beating yourself up if you've been contemplating this for several months, because it's quite normal that will be the case. So that's stage number 1. The second stage is what I call learning and practicing the basics. Now, learning and practicing the basics really is good news, because it's basically looking at the things that you've used in the past that have been healthy, well thought through, and have got you some sort of success in the past. Be that eating a certain way, be that exercising in a certain way. What you're going to do for this stage is, for a 6-week period, is practice those things. Just keep practicing them and see what happens. And the chances are you're going to get some weight loss and you're going to get some success. Once you've done that, you're going to move on to the next stage, which will take you up to week 12, which is what I call the believing in yourself stage. So from week 6 to week 12, you've basically put your foundations in place. You're now going to be developing those foundations to such a level that by the time you get to week 12, the confidence you have in yourself is absolutely immense. And it needs to be, because the next stage you're going to be going to, this is at week 18, is what I call the accepting the challenge. Accepting the challenge is realizing that, let's just use for example your job. Let's say you're in a job where you're not able to eat as healthily 5 days a week like you'd like to. Maybe you can only eat healthily 3 days a week, and the other 2 days you have to maybe substitute, let's say, meal replacement shakes, possibly. Not the gold standard, but something that you have to do. And you recognise that your job isn't going to be changing anytime soon. So you need to accept that, because unless you accept that as part of your reality as it is now, the chances are you're going to become resentful and actually fall off the wagon and go all the way back to square one. So that's the next stage, that's week 18. The next stage is going to come at week 24, and that's what I call overcoming the challenge. So up until week 18, you've gone through the basics, you've improved your self-belief. Week 18, you're kind of accepting the fact that things are not going to change. By week 24, what you're now doing is overcoming that challenge quite successfully. You've made all the necessary adjustments, all the tweaks in terms of your eating, when you're going to exercise, how you're going to exercise, and you've overcome that challenge. That then leads you on to the next stage, which is living the lifestyle on automatic pilot. Now that doesn't mean you won't have to give some thought to what you're doing in terms of planning your meals and planning when you're going to exercise. But compared to week 1, way back when, that first stage, learning and practicing basics, you're not having to give it as much thought as what you did way back when, because you've been doing it for so long now that things just become a little bit more automatic and natural for you. And then moving on to the final stage, which is week 36, which is you becoming the role model. You're now the person that other people are looking at and saying, wow, how have you achieved? Not only how have you achieved such great results, but you seem to have been doing it for some time now. You seem to have kept it up for a long time. And that's when you know you've become a role model. Not just because you've lost a couple of stone in maybe a couple of months. This is because you have lost weight, you've improved your fitness, you've improved your confidence levels, your self-esteem has gone up, you're moving differently, you're speaking differently, you're communicating with people differently, and people can now see this, so you now become the role model. And that's pretty powerful stuff, because not only are you now motivated intrinsically, you've now got other people telling you how great you look and how inspirational you are to them, so you've become that role model. And that can be another source of good motivation that's going to help to keep you on track. So those are the stages that you're going to have to go through, whether you are part of a slimming club, part of a gym, working with a trainer. It doesn't really matter what you're doing. Just understand you're going to have to go through these stages. And hopefully in understanding that, that's going to help you to, I'm hoping, calm yourself down so you realise that you're not in a sprint. This isn't something you start on Monday morning and you achieve the goal by Friday. This is something that's going to be for a lifetime. So when you understand that, you can just calm yourself down and sort of treat this more as a lifestyle change than just a quick fix. I hope you found that useful. As ever, if you do have any questions about any of those stages or any questions about mindset, food or exercise, then please email them through to me at admin@personalwellnessstudio.co.uk, and I'll do my utmost to answer them in the form of a video, just like the one you're watching now. So hopefully you found that useful, and I look forward to speaking to you again next week. Bye for now.